We're going to make a notes video here for 6-3 nth roots and rational exponents. This is 6-3 from our Reveal Algebra 2 book. All right, and so the first thing I always like to spend some time on is that this symbol right here, that is called the radical sign. All right, so we're talking about radicals. Now, a radical sign will always have an index number. Right, that's the radical symbol or sign, and the radicand's the thing on the inside. Right, and so we're used to just calling that a square root. Right, and so if this equals, let me make that prettier. When there is no number there, so there is no number right here, that equals automatically that it's a 2. And so it's automatically a square root. Now, it could be a 3 there for cubic root, or it could be any number they want to put there. But if there's no number there whatsoever, it's automatically a 2. And so, all right, square root of 25. Let's just simplify each of these expressions here. The square root of 25 is 5. So this plus minus symbol in front stays 5. And now there's automatically a 2 there. Right here is automatically a 2. So when I'm dealing with the x part, I do 4, that exponent, divided by the number that's in the index. And so in this case, it would be x squared. Right. The negative stays in front. This is a 2 here. And so this is all in parentheses. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Right. I would need a calculator for the next one. And so I grab my calculator and I do the cubic root. All right, the cubic root. Now, if I'm using my TI calculator, that means I'm going to hit math and go down to the fourth one, cubic root of 343, which it tells me is 7. And so 7, all right, 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Right. Square root 289. Square root of 289, all right, is oops, I think 17. I want to type into my calculator. And it says 17. Now it's negative 289. Square root of a negative is always I. And then it would be c to the fourth, because 8 divided by 2 is 4. D to the second. Right. Notice that because this problem's already had the square root in, I didn't have to add this plus minus sign every time. I just left it what it was. There was a plus minus in front, it stays. Negative in front, it stays. Nothing in front, nothing in front. Negative square roots or even roots will have the I. So, how do I type this into a calculator? All right. Now, different calculators have different things. So your calculator might have an N to the root button or something like that. All right. And so for us on the TI-84, so I'm going to talk about it like that because that's the ones we have for the class. All right. For TI-84 calculator, I am going to press the number 4, and then I'm going to press math. All right, so 4 math, and it's the 5th one down. So I'm going to go down to 5, which is 5 dot dot, and again, that's that N root sign. And that is going to put the 4 right in where the N is. So on your screen now, you'll see 4th root. All right, and you're going to type in then the 81 and see what happens. And so let's do that. Math 5. The 4th root was in. I type in the 81. I hit enter and it says 3. Right? And so this is 3 x. Again, with the x's, I'm just doing the exponent number divided by the index number. 4 divided by 4 is 1. I could write a 1 here. I just don't need to. Anything to the first power is itself. Right? 8th root of 256. And so again, I'm going to type the 8 and then hit math, the fifth one down. And type in 256, and it says the answer there is 2. So that is just 2. And then y squared minus 2 to the 24th. Well, I'm doing 24 divided by 8 is 3. And so I have this answer and this answer. Rational exponents, all right? Rational exponents. And so you got to be able to go both ways. If it's in exponential form, then we're going to write it in radical form. And if it's in radical form, then we're going to write it in exponential form, all right? And so 125 to the 1/3 power, 3 goes with the radical sign. The bottom number in the fraction, it's a rational exponent. So the bottom number goes with the index. The top number is the exponent, right? I always say maybe it's easier to use with x first, even though that's a weird thing to say. If I do x to the 2/3, that would be the 3rd root of x squared. Whereas the reverse, if I have x, say it's a 4th root of x to the 3rd, that would become x to the 3/4 power. And so you got to be able to go both ways, from exponential form to radical form, and from radical form to exponential form. The basic examples, I just kind of did those. So like a to the 1/2 power is just going to be square root of a. Right? But a to the 3/2 power is going to be square root of a to the 3rd. But a to the 5/3 power is going to be cubic root of a to the 5th. Right? Or if I have the 7th root of a squared, that's going to become a to the 2/7. Right? Or if I have the square root of a to the 9th, all right, that becomes a and then 9/2. So write in radical form. Right in radical form, the 3 goes with the radical sign. It's the bottom of the rational exponent. The 4 goes inside with the x, so it'll be x to the 4th. And that's it. Right, in exponential form for part B. All right, x is the base. All right, 2 is the exponent, 5 is the index, so it's going to go as a rational exponent of 2/5. Take a few seconds to take a guess here on part A. If you said this one, then great job. Take a few seconds and take a guess here on part B. If you said this one, then great job. So this is a little bit trickier problem, but they're giving you all the information you need in the example. So they say the expression C times the quantity 1 plus R to the power of T can be used to estimate the future cost of an item due to inflation. C represents the current cost, R represents the annual rate of inflation, T represents the time in years. Write the expression in radical form for the future cost of an item 3 months from now if its annual rate of inflation is 4.7%. And so the biggest thing here is they say 4.7%. And 4.7% equals 0.047. Remember, percent literally means per 100. So you could do 4.7 divided by 100, or you can move the decimal once, twice. All right, so the decimal moves twice. And so then we're just plugging things in, right? And so write the expression in for the future cost. We do not know the cost. 1 plus R. Well, R is 0.047. Right? 3 months annual inflation. 3 months. I'm going to go over here. 3 months. All right, is what to a year? All right, equals what blank of a year? Well, there are 12 months in a year, so it's 3 over 12, which reduces to 1/4 of a year. Right? And so that's where the 1/4 comes from. They want it to be in radical form. So I have all of this. The C's in front, stays in front. The 4 goes with the index. Right? I think I got lost there. The 4 goes with the index. And then this is to the first power, so you don't have to put the exponent there at all. It's just that. Evaluate each. And so first, negative exponents want to flip and become positive. And so this becomes 1 over 64 to the 1/6, right? Which becomes 1 over, right, the 6th root of 64. And I want to grab my calculator. I want to hit 6. And then I want to hit math. And I'm going to go to the 5th one down. And I want to type in 64. Hit enter, and it tells me 2. And so this is equaling 1 over 2. Again, why did it flip? Why does this become a fraction? Negative exponents want to flip and become positive. So this is right now over 1. To make it a positive exponent, I have to flip it to the bottom. All right. That is an old rule we probably reviewed way back when. I don't even remember. All right. But negative exponents flip and become positive. And then I do the conversion to radical form and type into a calculator to get the 2. Right. This one is the cubic root of 8 to the 4th. Right. And so first thing I want to do is I want to do what the heck is 8 to the 4th. And so I want to do the cubic root of 4,096. And then I'm going to hit math and go to the 4th one. So that's automatically a cubic root. And the calculator is going slow right now. And then we'll type in 4,096. And it says 16. Same thing as the top one up here. This is a negative exponent, so this becomes 1 over 32 to the 2/5 power, right? Which equals 1 over the 5th root of 32 squared. And so the first thing I want to do with my calculator is what is 32 squared? 32 squared is 1,024. And then I'm going to grab my calculator. I'm going to hit 5, math, go to the 5th one down, type in 1,024, and it says 4, and so this becomes 1 over 4. Again, this flips because it's a negative exponent. I did all the work here. This, to do this in a calculator, if it's the TI-84, you hit the 5 first. Then you hit math, and the 5th one down is where you're going. It'll put the 5 in the index, and then you go ahead and do it. Type it right in. That's an old disclaimer. That disclaimer, if you actually took the time to read it, would apply to regular pre-calc, not AP pre-calc, as those are very different classes. All right. But we're working on page 319, 2 through 26 even.